Hi, this is Patti Smith, and you're watching NME.com. I have a daughter who's 26, who's a struggling musician, and she could never, she doesn't have the same opportunities in New York City that we had in the 60s and early 70s, where you could get a job in a bookstore, get a cheap apartment, where there was a burgeoning art community, so many young people, so many ideas and so much collaboration, and but whole areas that we lived and camped in are, they're basically high-end shopping areas. New York has become so prosperous and now catering to such prosperity that it's just not only pushed out existing artists, but makes it impossible for young, struggling people to develop a culture, a cultural voice there. It's still a great city, but I think that, young artists have to go somewhere else. Newark, Detroit, Philadelphia. New York's a great city, and perhaps they find, young people are resilient. They'll find another way to make it there. But it's not as welcoming. New York, I loved New York when I was younger because it was as ragtag as me. New York was struggling. It was somewhat close to bankruptcy. I felt a kinship with this city, a great city with great possibilities. And and I felt that we all worked to make it an exciting, living place. And but I find that same complaint is echoed throughout the world, and you go to Rome, and the painters and poets and artists and revolutionaries I know being pushed out of Rome. This is something that is happening in our great cities. And what can we do about it? I'm not quite sure, except I think to have courage and go to another struggling city. There are great cities, or cities that are who need that kind of energy in America, as I said, like Newark or Philadelphia, certainly Detroit. If all of that kind of energy, was put into Detroit, it could perhaps flower again. But I think a lot of people think like that. But I think, on the other hand, we can't give up. New York doesn't create artists. Artists help create New York to be, a center, just as they did in Paris. We artists can, it is the artist who gives certain places grandeur, musicians, poets, activists. So wherever they go, they'll, bring life to another place.